Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this workshop. And I know it's 11, but I think we'll just wait for a while more to see if anyone else joins. In the meantime, feel free to let us know in the chat what you guys are, what kind of industries that you're from, so that we can better tailor the webinar. And also any questions of your mind you have right now, just feel free to put it down. My colleagues and I will actually take time to answer all of them. This is the webinar focus for today. So this is roughly what we'll be going through today. Good morning for those who just joined us as well. We're having more people streaming in now, so maybe we'll start at around 11:05. Again, a warm welcome to all those who have just joined us. Let us know what industries you guys are from so that we can better answer your questions later or better actually tailor our presentation. Great. So we have an answer from Glenn here, who's in insurance. Sure. Anyone else? Anyone in e-commerce? Anyone in education? Anyone in maybe retail, like brick and mortar retail? Just let us know what kind of industries you're from. Oh, right, e-commerce. We have some e-commerce right here. Welcome. Oh, okay, cool. We have NGOs as well. Great, great. I think it's really interesting. We have a very wide range of industries right here. We'll just wait about 2 more minutes before we start again. All right, okay, we have retail and service here as well. It seems like we have quite a heavy retail and more of a sales-based audience today. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting because we do have lots of things that we can do with WhatsApp Business for these spaces. So I think it'll be pretty useful. Oh, design and consultancy. That's a new one in this group. Hi, good morning. Great, sales activation. Yes, that's really important. Though I think we also want to see anyone else with any other very different industries. All right, 1 more minute till we start. So just see who's the last few people streaming in, and then we'll get this started right away. Hi there. Hi, everyone. So I'm Crystal, and I'm from SleekFlow. And today we'll be going through what's WhatsApp Business API. And I think that's pretty much why everyone's here, because I think there might be some confusion between like, oh, what's the difference between that and WhatsApp Business, or what are other choices that I have? So if everyone's ready, let's just jump right into it. So firstly, why should you invest in WhatsApp Business? Just a show of hands, or just like let me know how many of you actually currently already use WhatsApp for business communications, talking to your clients and your customers, and how often do you guys use it? Like, just give me a rough gauge of like what the current usage is like for everyone in this group. Just feel free to let me know in the chat. While waiting for the answers to stream in, I'll just go ahead first. So why is WhatsApp so important now? Because I mean, every day, everyone, especially in the places we're in now, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, WhatsApp is a very, very heavily used communication tool. And the new rising trend that we are experiencing right now is actually social commerce. Like with the rise of Instagram shops, Facebook shops, all these things are actually very, very related to the way we socialize. So now social and commerce are kind of coming together as well. So people are doing selling on like WhatsApp and all these different platforms. So that's why it's very important. And actually this was driven even faster by COVID, where there's a lot of remote selling. So with remote selling, we actually can use WhatsApp to break through this time location barrier. So now selling can happen 24/7. It doesn't have to happen at a brick and mortar store. You can do it through chats and online with all these bots. So I see from Paul here, oh, Paul uses WhatsApp for sales promotions. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's what we'll be going through right down the road later. Next, there was also an increased inclination of using text versus calls. I think this is something a lot of millennials kind of deal with, because research has shown that millennials aren't as prone to receiving calls or making calls, and they should prefer texting and kind of avoiding facial contact. So yes, so with this increased inclination with texting, we actually have more flexibility and control over sending and receiving different messages, and when we can send it out, when do we want our customers to receive it, and stuff like that. We can also have scheduled messages and all these interesting things that we'll go through later. So now, we have some studies that show that we have about 98% of mobile phone users read a business and promotional message daily. Also, just a show of hands again, like how many of you actually use EDMs, like electronic direct mailers and all these kind of things that send promotional message to your users? Because as we all know, there's such a thing called spam mailbox now, right? So with a spam mailbox, we actually seem to send a lot of messages out, but our customers don't seem to receive them that well because it ends up in a spam mailbox. So they don't actually see the message and they actually miss it. But for now, in our text messaging inboxes, there's no such thing as a spam filter yet. So that's why a lot of people actually receive their business and promotional messages on their mobile phones. And this is a big opportunity that we can all take note of. Next. Let's take a look at some of our studies that show that actually our consumers between the age of 18 to 40, more of our millennial consumers actually prefer using instant messages over email. Sorry, just hold on while I just configure some stuff here. All right, okay. I should prefer using instant messaging over email. And why is that so? Because with all these young people, we actually are a lot more connected, people growing up in a digital age, a bit more digital natives, and that's why it's very important to be able to use social media and instant messaging to reach out to this age group. And also, about 30% of people actually reply our instant business communications, such as over text or over emails. So next, we're going to dive right into what is actually WhatsApp Business. So WhatsApp Business is actually this messaging platform that is suited for small and medium enterprises, and it's actually available for download on your App Store, your Play Store. And apart from normal WhatsApp, there's additional key features, such as you can tag certain conversations so that you know, oh, this is a customer who bought this thing, or this is a customer who uses an Apple Watch, and stuff like that. So you can tag and segment your customers for easier viewing and easier replying. And also these things called quick replies, which means you can just maybe key in a /hi, and then automatically it'll bounce out your pre-saved reply to welcome your new customers or stuff like that. So yeah, that's what WhatsApp Business is like. So apart from that, you also have a business profile. So as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, you can actually have your name, have your opening hours, have an email, and maybe even like a short description, your website, and even an address. So this is the way that people can actually get to know your business better by knowing actually what you do, what you have, and all these kind of things. There's also a catalog function as well. So if you're an online shop selling flowers, selling chocolates, anything you want to sell, you can actually put it in a catalog as well. So next, segmentation, as I mentioned earlier. So you can actually have different labels where you can look and label different customers, and you can actually follow up with them based on these segments. Next, we also have messaging tools. So what are some of the messaging tools that are more commonly used? So some of the more commonly used messaging tools would be the greeting messages. So some of you may realize that when you send a message to a business number, straight away like a reply comes. Well, that's not their very efficient customer service. That's actually the greeting message function that WhatsApp Business has. Same. So we also have an away message. So if someone texts the business number maybe after 6 p.m., and then they can have an away message that says like, hey, sorry, we're actually currently closed. We'll get back to you first thing in the morning tomorrow. So that's what it is. And quick replies, as I mentioned earlier, it's actually a fast way to have pre-saved messages sent out using like shortcuts on your keypad. So what's the bad thing about WhatsApp Business? I mean, it sounds all good and everything, but WhatsApp is mainly built for individuals, like one-man shows. It doesn't have integrations, so you won't be able to integrate everything in your WhatsApp chat with your CRM platforms, with your e-commerce platforms. You can't schedule anything, and you don't even have any payment gateways. So what's that? Like, what's this challenge we are facing right here? Is that if you, let's say, an Instagram shop or maybe a cake shop, a team of maybe like 5 people, not all of you can access the phone at the same time. Not all of you can reply to customers at the same time. And you can't even track to grow next time. So I think that's a very important metric today, where we actually have data analytics that we track so that we can make sure we scale in future. So with WhatsApp Business, we're not able to put all these data automatically into a platform where you can manage all your contacts and manage the sales cycles and all these kind of things. That has to be done manually. And as we all know, that's a bit difficult when the orders start coming in. Apart from that, it's also very difficult to segment and manage customer information. Like you can't filter like, oh, I want to see all those who have bought something within the past 2 days, or I want to see all those whose location is in Singapore. It's a bit more difficult to actually segment all these kind of things through the WhatsApp Business app. Now, moving on to the WhatsApp Business API. So a lot of you might be wondering like, oh, what's the difference between WhatsApp Business app and the WhatsApp Business API? So as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, so this is a mock client who has the WhatsApp Business API. So the good thing about it is it says official business account right here, official business account. And it also has this green tick. But what this does is actually it gives you a bit more credibility. And when people see, they're like, oh, this is not a fraud, it's not a scam, and this is a legitimate company that I'm dealing with. So that's what's important in WhatsApp Business API. So now, what exactly is an API? So for example, an API would be something that actually connects two things together. So it's actually a programming interface, and then you're actually an intermediary that allows two different applications to communicate with each other. So for example, let's think of ourselves in a restaurant. So we are a customer, right? And we are looking through the menu, we have very, very great options, and we're like, okay, I want a lobster dish. But how is this order going to get to the chef who's going to prepare it? You need a waiter. So this waiter will take your order, tell it to the chef will then cook it, and then the waiter will bring it back to you. So the waiter is actually what the API does. The API is just in charge of sending the messages and sending the different instructions back and forth between you, the customer, and the chef. So similarly, in our context right now, this is WhatsApp Business API serves the function of this waiter, right? And then it helps us communicate between what you want to do with the SleekFlow platform, and then it brings the message back and forth and different functions that we'll talk about later. So what's so good about this WhatsApp Business API? For WhatsApp Business API, you can use WhatsApp as a team, which means if you have a team of maybe 2,000 people, all of you can use WhatsApp at the same time using the same WhatsApp number and communicate with all your different clients, all from the same WhatsApp number. So the good thing about this is that apart from having everyone log in at WhatsApp at the same time, you can also have connection with CRMs and instant messaging platforms where you can then automatically send delivery notices, promotions, and even restaurant reservations. And all these will be automatically captured, the data will be captured, and you can then use it for further analysis later on. Next, you also have quick replies that are a bit more personal. So you have variables, like you can put in a quick reply with hi, first name, good morning. So for example, my name is Crystal. When I receive the message, I'll be like, oh, I'll receive hi, Crystal, good morning. Or maybe we have Paul, so it'll be hi, Paul, good morning. So these are the things that are not available in the WhatsApp business, where it's not that personalizable, right? Next, we also have chatbots. So chatbots is something that's pretty important and it's gaining a lot of recognition in recent years. And why is this important is that we can create chatbots to actually streamline the workflow and to segment customers depending on their answers to the chatbots and assign them to the right customer service officers who can then assign and help them with the questions that they have. Next, we also have the green tick. So we can see that this company is legitimate and we can see all the information from the start. I'm sure all of you know when a random WhatsApp number texts you for the very first time, you see a WhatsApp number on top instead of a person's name because you haven't saved the contact. But when you have the green tick, your name is automatically on the top of the chat, even though the user has not saved your number. So this is a very, very good way of helping your customers identify who they're speaking to. So all these are actually the advantages of using the WhatsApp Business API. So with the WhatsApp Business API and connecting to a platform, you're then able to manage all your customer information, the date they joined, what company they're from, which country they're from, all these different things that can be customized. You can decide to add certain fields that you want to capture for further data analysis later on. Next, you can also automate different workflows and analyze data. But all these can't be done with the WhatsApp Business API alone. You need a platform to work with the API to be able to deliver this. Back to the restaurant analogy. So you can't just sit in the restaurant alone. You need a waiter and a chef for everything to run well. Similarly, that's what we need. So for example, we'll first go through e-commerce since we have quite a lot of people in e-commerce right here. So with the e-commerce platform, what we can do with a WhatsApp Business API and SleekFlow is actually to improve your customer support workflow efficiency. So just take a look at this picture right here. So SleekFlow is available on both a web app, this one, and a phone app, which is this one right here. So what you can do is actually you can assign conversations to the right person based on their questions. Next, you can actually view and manage the conversations across all the departments. So for example, you're a sales department person, and then you can talk to another person from maybe the procurement department. And then they can also see the conversations so they know exactly where you left off and pick up right from there so that your customer doesn't feel like, I need to repeat myself again. It removes that kind of friction and helps the customer service be much more fluid and much more better. Next, we also have all your customer information at your fingertips. So in the SleekFlow platform, we also have a sidebar on our right-hand side, which then has all the information, the person's name, the person's surname, the person's email, everything else that you want to track is right at your fingertips. So you can straight away make sure your answers are tailored to what the person is or what the person has or what the person has last bought so that you know that's all really good. Next, we also have different channels, as you can see in the top left here. You can choose to talk to your customer on like WhatsApp or WeChat or Messenger or many different platforms that you decide on. And you can also automatically assign labels to customer so that you can analyze the lead sources. So for example, when a person comes in through a webinar or when a person signs up through a Facebook ad, automatically we'll assign that label to them. So we straight away know and you can filter them right away. That's something that you can't do on the WhatsApp app. Next, we also have broadcast notices and promotions and order confirmations. So this is one thing that's a bit more special because we can actually personalize every single message. So it's mass personalization, a bit ironic right there, but it works. So here, for example, hi, first name, thank you for being a loyal VIP. So you can send this to all your VIP members and all their first names will be inserted then right away. Compared to the current usage where lots of our clients have been telling us before they use this, they had to use WhatsApp and manually key it in every single day and manually change the names. And it's really awkward when you don't actually put the right name in sometimes or you forget to change the name. So with this, that will never happen again. Next, you can also choose different channels. So for example, here, you can choose to send it through WhatsApp Business. You can choose to send it through maybe like Facebook Messenger, different channels. That's up to you. And you can also choose different lists. So you can make sure you send it to only the VIP customers, only the repeat purchases, and all these important things. Next, you can also schedule the message. So for example, you want this to go out as a Christmas promotional message. Maybe you want to send it out a week before Christmas. So you can schedule it right down to the time it's being sent out. So you can be like, oh, I want to send this out at maybe 11:59. And sure, it'll be sent out at 11:59 without you having to press another button, without you having to remember and remind yourself. That's all out of the window because it's all automatic now. And before anything goes out, you can also make a test message to yourself to make sure that you're receiving and you're happy how it looks like before sending out to your customers as well. Next, we also understand how important it is for your customers to enjoy the conversation with you. So we don't want you to send them through a different channel. So maybe a customer reached out to you through WhatsApp, and then you don't want to broadcast the message to them through like Facebook Messenger because that's not their favorite chosen channel to use for communications. So make sure that you're able to broadcast the messages to the last channel you use to communicate with this particular person. Next, we are also able to integrate lots of e-commerce platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Wix, and all these different things. So yeah, we can go through this a bit more detail later. Here, so with, let's say for different e-commerce platforms, we understand it's really important to send your users order updates and messages and cart notifications and even promo codes, because I mean, you want to have the behavior of repurchasing. Yes. So apart from that, we also have this very powerful abandoned cart feature, which I think it's very important that we usually receive abandoned cart emails when we go to a website, we shop, we add things to our cart, and then we don't end up checking out. Sometimes you can forget about it. So now, apart from just receiving an emails about like what I added to my cart and have not checked out, I also get a message. So I think that's a lot more easier. So the person will be like, oh, right, yeah, I forgot about this. So it's a very good reminder as well. Next, we also have some use cases for traditional brick and mortar retails. So what we can do is actually we can manage teams and outlets efficiently, right? So we understand that traditional retails, especially some of the companies that we've worked with, we're currently working with a huge jewelry chain in Hong Kong, and they have many, many different users. They have 2,000 staff and they have different roles. So they have like admin roles, they have shop admin roles, they have different sales people, they even have a back-end customer support. So we make sure that we have different teams for these. So we make sure we structure their communication structure really, really well so that each person can only see whatever they need to be seeing, right? Next, we're also able to record customer information whenever they first join. And then we also send automatic order confirmations through our automation rules and drip campaigns. Now, drip campaigns is something that we found to be very, very effective. And it's actually helped us to remove ourselves from this whole messaging process. So I can just set a message to be sent out today. And then I can set another message to be sent out 2 days later. And then another message sent out maybe 3 days later and stuff like that. So it goes automatically without any human interference. Next, we also have a social CRM, which then allows our customers to use instant messaging to actually maybe browse and even earn points and redeem gifts and stuff like that. Next, we also can send automatic promotional messages and season greetings, like the one you saw just now. We can send them like, oh, hey, Happy New Year. Oh, happy birthday. This is a promo code for your birthday. Please redeem it within this week. You know, all these kind of things can be automated. So you don't have to remember, oh, it's Mrs. Tan's birthday tomorrow. Oh, it's Hafiz's birthday tomorrow. You don't have to remember all that anymore. Next, we also have a good dashboard that allows us to analyze different data, like which salesperson shared the most links, which has the highest conversion, how many staff are actually on this platform, how long do they use it every day, you know, what are different campaigns, so all our broadcast campaigns, we know how many got sent out, how many were read, how many were replied, and we can do all these different message analytics, so we know exactly how to fine-tune the campaign for next time. Next, we also have a lot of clients in the service-based industries where they're like education, beauty, fitness, professional services, and finance as well. So I think the one that most of our service-based industries like the most is actually automated booking flows. Some people might have actually received something like this, where we can actually integrate with booking platforms. So we actually integrated with Calendly, so they can actually send out automation confirmation that will tell you like, okay, remember to attend our webinar tomorrow, or please our link. Stuff like that. So I think this is very important for all of service-based industries to keep the clients engaged, right? And then we can also send time-sensitive reminders and connect with our customer databases as well. So whenever a customer makes a new purchase, it's straight away automatically updated into our CRM, so you don't have to do any manual keying in and all these kind of things. We also have chatbots that qualify leads. So for example, someone that comes in, they can choose like, they can choose, oh, I want to buy maybe a necklace. So they can have different choices. So choice 1 will be necklace, choice 2 will be bracelet, choice 3 will be water bottle, maybe, stuff like that. So the moment they answer one, they'll be routed to someone who's well qualified to answer anything related to letters. So we'll see that right now, where we'll show you this little clip. Yep, so let's go through step by step on what's happening on the screen. So here you can see a customer sends a message. And then after that, an auto message comes out to say, hello, welcome to SleekFlow. And then we have different things that we can say. So in this questionnaire, we asked, what is your industry? So the first one is retail, the second one is education, the third one is beauty, fourth is finance, five is HR, property management, science and tech, and others. And then you can even type EN to switch it to English. Then after that, the person can then reply a number 2. Then we further qualify it to make sure that we know exactly what this person is looking for. So we're asking them, what do you want to know about SleekFlow? For 1, we're asking you, oh, I want to know how do I manage all my channels in one place? Or 2, I want to know how can all my staff log in at the same time? Or 3, I want to know how to analyze my users and my clients and my staff. Or 4, I want to know how to broadcast. And 5, I want to learn about automations. And 6, I just kind of want to know more about like how to collate all different chat equipment and chat different channels as well. So then the person can then reply again, have multiple replies on what they want to get to know better. And you can even ask them qualifying questions of how many users currently use SleekFlow, or how many users do you need to log into SleekFlow? And then they can also give another reply. And then it can be automatically routed or even send an automatic message to book a video meeting or even like a demo session right away. So that's what we can do with SleekFlow and the chat API. Next, we'll look into the details and pricing. I think this is something that everyone has been looking forward to. How much does the WhatsApp official business API cost? Well, firstly, before we get into that, we have to know that there are 2 types of WhatsApp business messages. First is the template messages, then we have session messages. So what are these 2 things? Template messages. Now, template messages are things that can be sent out when you haven't had any customer-initiated contact within the past 24 hours, which means maybe if someone you've never spoken to before or someone that you have not talked to in a very, very long time, you have to send a template message to them. Why do you need to send a template message to them? Well, actually, you need to send it to them and you need to register this message and make sure it's approved by WhatsApp. So you need to go into a console, you need to type in what you want to send, and WhatsApp has to approve it before you can send this template message out. So template messages are usually used for like delivery notifications and even reminders. So for example, take a look right here. Hello, 1. If I was to register a template that says hello, 1, we can actually have, hello, Mr. Chan, the watch you've ordered has arrived. So you can change anything within the brackets. So for example, another template you can register would be, hi, 1, your order number 2 has been confirmed, and the products you have ordered has been dispatched. Here are your order details, 3. So 1, 2, and 3 can be anything you can put in. So it can be, hi, Crystal, your order number 650393 has been confirmed, and here are your order details. It will be sent to you tomorrow morning, stuff like that. And then the interesting thing about template messages is that it's different pricing mechanisms for different destinations. So for example, if I'm in Hong Kong and I want to send a message to someone else in Hong Kong, send a template message to this person in Hong Kong, it will cost me 0.43 Hong Kong dollars. But if I'm in Hong Kong and I want to send a message to someone who's in Singapore, it will cost me 0.076 Sing dollars. Similarly, if I want to send someone in Malaysia, it will cost me 0.19 ringgit. And all these are actually different pricing. These are pricings converted using Google, but official pricing is actually in USD. So I've listed the USD prices here as well, in case you want to make a better comparison next time. As template messages need to be registered, the chances of being blocked by WhatsApp is greatly reduced, because I think we have lots of people who came to tell us like, oh no, what if I get blocked by WhatsApp by sending all these broadcast messages and everything? Usually it happens when people just send out spammy messages and then lots of people report them, and that's why they get blocked. But with a template message, because it has gone through WhatsApp's approval, it's less likely to be spammy, and thus people are less likely to report it, and therefore WhatsApp will be less likely to block it. Yeah, so that's just how it works. Next, Session messages. So what are session messages? It's like everything that is not a template message. So for example, you've been talking to a customer and your replies are template messages as well. So if a customer replies you within the past 24 hours and you send a message out, that will be considered a session message. If a customer initiates contact with your company and you reply within 24 hours, it will also be counted as a session message. So if you receive a message, 24-hour clock runs again. Within the 24 hours, if like you don't receive any new messages, then you have to send a template message again. But if within the 24 hours, you've been keeping in contact and having back and forth rallies and very interesting conversations, it will all be counted as session messages. So the good thing about session messages is that it's all the same charge, regardless of where it's going. So I've also basically used Google Convert to convert all the prices for you guys right here. Next, all these prices, because it's a pay-as-you-go, so you'd be thinking, oh no, is it going to be really expensive? Well, that's not necessarily the case, because based on our data and our clientele, it seems like the average online shop spends around 400 Hong Kong dollars per 200 customers every month. So that's about 70 Sing dollars and 220 Malaysian ringgit and about 52 USD. That's assuming they spend about $2 per person or 0.35 Singapore dollars or about 110 Malaysian ringgit per person per month. So that's actually quite a low spend. However, if you use WhatsApp for sales outreach and you have to use it for order confirmations where you send template messages, the fees will be slightly higher as template messages cost a bit more. Next, another question that we always get is, can I use my existing phone numbers, right? So a new number will have to be purchased from a WhatsApp provider. This is because the WhatsApp API is only offered through official WhatsApp providers. So the phone numbers cost between 6 to 15 USD per month. And with the WhatsApp official business API, you don't need to download the WhatsApp app to use it. And everyone can still log in through maybe the SleekFlow platform at the same time to use WhatsApp without the WhatsApp app. So some of you might be thinking, so what's the alternative to the official WhatsApp business API? Firstly, we have different third-party APIs as well. So this one, as you can see here, is called WhatsApp Chat API. It's a third-party WhatsApp API provider. This one works very similarly to WhatsApp Desktop, where you just have to take out the phone, scan the QR code, and then you're in. You're ready to use it. So plug and play, and all your things are synced. You have your contacts synced, your conversations synced. You don't need a new phone number. But the caveat is that it relies very, very heavily on phone connections. So for example, if you have an unstable internet connection, or if your boss who is holding the main phone goes on a plane or goes into the lift, your WhatsApp connection may be cut off for that particular amount of time. So if he's flying from Singapore to LA for 13 hours, that's how long your WhatsApp is going to be down for. So yeah, that's the bad thing about using a third-party WhatsApp provider. Next, all of you might be wondering, so which type suits me best then? So we think for WhatsApp Business official API, it will be better because it's more stable performance. Your messages will always be sent. And it's officially recognized by WhatsApp. You also have a reduced chance of being blocked. And it's suitable for medium to large enterprises with at least 5 people using it. Because from what we've seen, smaller shops that don't need that much contact with customers on a daily basis don't really need to pay that much for using the official API. They're better off using maybe a third-party provider who's a one-time monthly fee. But for official WhatsApp Business API, it's better for big businesses, like some of the luxury retailers that we work with. They prefer to have more consistent service and to send it out to their customers better, make sure it's sent all the time. Then that's why we suggest they go with official, and they have, and they've been really happy with performance so far. But as for third party, well, what's the good thing about it? As I said earlier, it's really convenient, it's easy to get started, and it's actually relatively cheaper than the official WhatsApp Business API. So thus, it's actually suitable for smaller enterprises, maybe like 2 or 3 people, where they need to constantly log into WhatsApp at the same time, because that's something that you can't do with the WhatsApp Business app alone. Next, you can also keep all your existing contact information, but as I said earlier as well, it relies very heavily on your phone connection. And sometimes when you send out messages that are not approved by WhatsApp, because you don't have to send it to WhatsApp to approve it, people might start blocking you, and people start reporting you, and then like eventually your phone number might get blocked by WhatsApp. So that's actually a downside that you have to be prepared for. So now, if you would like to apply for official WhatsApp Business API, it's really simple. Just scan the QR code on the screen, fill in and submit a short form. And then after that, you can just finish your Facebook business verification. It takes about a week. And then you can purchase WhatsApp credits to SleekFlow, and you can straight away start using the WhatsApp Business official API. So now we'll open the floor for questions and answers. These are our application form. You can, again, just scan it again, or you can even just start a 7-day free trial on SleekFlow to see whether you like what you're seeing, or you can just let us know what can be improved as well. So yeah, we'll open it to the floor. Let's see if anyone else has any questions.